Okay. All the buttons are pushed. This is Geek News Central. My name is Todd Cochran, coming to you from the new media production studio. The lead stories are FTX bankruptcy team says the exchange owed customers $8.7 billion. Hope, fear, and AI, 2,000 people share their real thoughts. The U.S. House restricts Congress use of ChatGPT. And Apple reportedly has new M3 MacBook Pros, iMacs, etc. in the work. I want to welcome you to episode 1677 of the Geek News Central podcast for Monday, June 26th. This show is sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com and listeners just like you. Great deals from GoDaddy can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. You can support this show today at geeknewscentral.com/insider. Hey, I want to give a warm welcome to all the new listeners of the show. Make sure you get over to geeknewscentral.com. Follow, or subscribe to the podcast. It's available there on the right-hand column of the website. Make sure you sign up for our newsletter as well. Our newsletter gets you the show notes delivered directly to your inbox immediately following the show. And, of course, we want you to check out all our partner shows. They're listed across the top. The New Media Show, The Gadget Professor, and the GNC Week in Review. 3 great shows you should subscribe to, all part of the family here at GNC. You can always join our chat room at geeknews.chat, geeknews.chat. That's a Mastodon chat server. We do have a Discord channel as well. And, of course, you can always email me here directly, geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com, or at geeknews on Twitter. My Mastodon address is at geeknews@geeknews.chat. That's an easy way to remember. Of course, you can follow me on Facebook as well. This show does have the longest running continuous sponsor of a podcast. That's our good friends at GoDaddy. All you got to do is go over to Saves, lock in those savings today at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. And again, save large. We've got a Saving Starts Here link with GoDaddy, but that's the one that you click on last resort. We want you to start with that penny.com for new transfer domains in for new customers. $1.99 a month economy hosting for the first year with a free domain. Again, $1.99 a month economy hosting for the first year with a free domain, or $2.99 a month managed WordPress hosting for the first year with a free domain. Those 2 hosting deals are absolutely the best hosting deals on the known or within the known universe. Of course, you can get a free trial. Go to a website builder, your choice of personal business or business plus plans. That's a 1-month free trial. Geek News Central listeners save an average of 94% on purchase of GoDaddy hosting accounts. And boy, about $8.48 on a domain name if you use that penny code. The GoDaddy coupon codes are non-expiring, but they can change the deals anytime. So if you've been sitting off, waiting, holding back, now is the time to jump over and grab yourself a deal. And your support keeps this podcast online and the independent writing team employed. Again, you're supporting a small team, very small team of independent content creators here that put all the great content up for you to read at geeknewscentral.com. Again, geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy is the place to go to start saving major amounts of money, and you support a great show. Hope you're all doing well. For those of you watching the video, notice something different. There has been a small change. Do you guys notice what the difference is? Someone will figure it out. And if you're following on any of our live streams today, make sure you say hello. We definitely appreciate it when you do. I try to watch both the with what's going on in the I try to watch what's happening with both the YouTube and, of course, over on Facebook. I try to keep an eye on both of those channels. So if you've got any commentary today, feel free to say hello. I am trying to move a desktop screen over a little bit. There we go. So I can continue to see both screens. So yeah, working with I need another set of hands. So again, great weekend. Just really took it easy. A lot of little projects around the loft. Sunday was basically just a chill day, and we had caught up on YouTube and some movies, and really just a weekend to decompress. What did you think? What did you think of the last show's show art? Did you all see it? Did you all see the show art from the last episode? The Android and the iPhone. Did you all see it? Created by Midjourney. I thought it came out pretty close. I took a couple of tries to get it right, but I thought it was pretty unique. Now, of course, the text art on it was not that great. We're working to improve that. I want to thank Sam sending over some templates. I'm still trying to figure all that out. Sam, is there a flat template as well? I know you give me a round one, but is there one that's got a flat bar that I can put across the bottom, kind of like I have an example from 1676? Just let me know. But again, and just playing around with this a little bit and trying to make it, it adds a little time to the production of the show. It's I probably spend another, with all this playing around with these new tools, I probably spend another 15 to 20 minutes getting the show out, which is not a big deal considering I'm just, trying to really fully understand all these tools. But Midjourney, what a platform. Almost more valuable to me at this point than ChatGPT. Both do their own things, but yeah, very, very cool. And I've got an interesting strategy going on. If you guys see the show notes on YouTube, they're different than the show notes that are on Geek News Central. So I'm trying to get a twofer there. And just take a look. You'll see the difference in titles of shows and show notes. I'm just trying to drive different types of search traffic and have a little bit of fun with it. So let's go ahead and get into the content and thank Kirk for doing a good job on the prep. He is got jury duty this week. So he's been finishing prep about 4:00 Eastern. And of course, I'm still sitting, cranking away at work. But I don't think he's gotten called yet. But he is in the barrel. You get that summons and you have to show up. So it's his week in the barrel. But again, thanks for Kirk for doing all the work that you did get the show prep done. So should be an interesting new media show on Wednesday. We had had a live one, the last one. We'll see how it goes this one. But anyway, let's get into the FTX story. It continues. The bankruptcy team says exchange owed customers $8.7 billion. Commingling and misuse of customer funds occurred from the start, says current CEO John Ray III. And senior executives knew of the shortfall as soon as August of 2022. About $6.4 billion of the money the FTX.com exchange owed its customers was in the form of fiat currency and stablecoin. Basically, it was in a currency that they could have accessed, but it had been misappropriated. About $7 billion in liquid assets have been recovered so far, and those searching the company's assets anticipate additional recoveries. The image that the FTX group sought to portray as the customer-focused leader of the digital age was a mirage. And of course, he's trying to recover money for creditors. And from the inception of the FTX.com exchange, the FTX group commingled customer deposits and corporate funds and misused them with abandon. So a product of months of analysis and forensic auditing, the new report paints a picture of company management of at least one senior lawyer knowingly misusing customer money, saying they lied to banks and auditors, executed false documents, and moved the FTX group from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, taking flight from the United States to Hong Kong to the Bahamas, in a continual effort to avoid detection of their wrongdoing. So the task to find the money is extraordinarily challenging. And but lots of people knew about these issues. And Bankman-Fried gave false testimony to senators in February 22 hearing when he spoke about his company's practice in protecting customers and their money, according to the report. When it comes to big dollars like that, people get drunk on power, get drunk on being able to do things they shouldn't do, thinking they're above the law, that they're going to get caught. Hey, Mom, thanks for joining the chat, saying hello. Appreciate it. Anyone else watching, make sure you say hello. So, yeah, they should have took that money and really, if they're going to do that the way they did it, they might as well have just hid. I mean, probably there wasn't a place on the planet safe for them. They should have invested in Elon Musk to help him get them off planet. The U.S. House is to restrict congressional use of ChatGPT. Now, listen to this. On Monday, the House set up new rules around how congressional offices can use ChatGPT and declared that any non-ChatGPT chatbots are not yet authorized. In a Monday memo, the House Chief Administrative Chief, Catherine Szpindor, said that lawmakers and staff were now limited to using ChatGPT Plus, the paid version of the chatbot, to its enhanced privacy features. Offices can only use the product for research and evaluation with privacy settings enabled and listen to this, and are forbidden from pasting any blocks of text that have not already been made public into the service. So in other words, a document has to be public, available for the public to see, before they can take any of that text and paste it into ChatGPT. Now, I'd like to see that definition of made public. Made public means it's for public distribution, doesn't necessarily mean it's been made available to public. A number of private companies, including Samsung and Apple, have restricted or banned employees from using the tool. They've cited fears that confidential data might leak through the tool, and that's my concern as well. But anyway, no other versions of ChatGPT, large language models, software authorized for the use in the House of Representatives. And so we'll see where this goes. But obviously people in government are already using this. At the same time, should come as no surprise, changing topics here, Apple reportedly has a new M3 MacBook Pro iMac in the works. A tech giant could, and probably will, release more than a dozen updated devices over the next 12 months. And we know in 2020, Apple began switching to the M chips in its lineup and leaving Intel behind. And again, lots of updates coming. Apple is working again on this M3 version of the chip and probably will roll out a whole bunch of different versions of it. And it's just like anything else. These chips have, I guess a better word is revisions, iterations, and so forth. Hey, Dan, thanks for checking in on Facebook. We appreciate you saying hello. Definitely appreciate it. Any of you on YouTube, make sure you say hello to as well. If you are an Android user, Google Messages' latest experiment makes RCS chats stand out in the home screen, which could soon tell which of your chats are using the latest messaging standard in the conversation list. Now, a prominent badge will appear in the bottom right corner of a profile avatar in the conversation list, indicate which chats support RCS. So the latest beta version of Google Messages contains evidence pointing to this new badge, and it was spotted by 9 to 5 Google. If you're one of the beta testers, chances are that you'll see a small message icon in the bottom right corner of a user's avatar. So we'll see. And a lot of people are switching to Google RCS, so this will probably become pretty popular over time. There's a great video, The Future Smartphones, according to Google CEO Sundar Pichai. When Google talks, smartphone development's worthy a listen. It's a little bit of a YouTube video, so definitely give it a listen. The link will be up in the show notes. It's makeuseof.com is where it's at. Also, the U.S. government is handing out now listen to this. The U.S. government, Department of Transportation, is giving away $1.7 billion to 46 states and territories to fund the acquisition of just of just 1,700 buses, over half of which will be zero emission. 1.7 billion. Yes, 1.7 billion to fund the acquisition of 1,700 buses. So why are we giving this kind of money away? There's roughly 60,000 buses that currently operate in the United States, but 1.7 billion. How much do these buses cost? You know, I just kind of like I was staggered by that number. So I don't have the calculator app open, but let me go ahead and open it up. I think I know what the number is. Here's 1700. Okay, that's 1000,000. Is that right? Did I get that number right? 1.7 billion. See here, that's a million. There's a billion. Divide by 1,700. Yes, I think that's right. $1 million? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. $1 million a bus? $1 million? $1 million a bus. Is that what an electric bus costs? And only half of them, so actually we're only getting 800? This is why we pay so many taxes and we're in debt so deep. It's ridiculous. Each awardee set to receive millions of dollars to fund the purchase of new buses, update garage facilities, install charging infrastructure, and retrain drivers and mechanics to support their maintenance. So I guess it really is not that much. It's pretty shocking. It really is. It really is. And why aren't municipalities doing this on their own? Why do I have to? I live in rural America. There are no buses here. Zero buses. Matter of fact, the closest actual bus stop, if I wanted to take a bus to another city, is about 35 to 40 miles away. There's no buses that come through my town. Why do I have to pay for that? Why can't the cities pay for this themselves? Scientists are developing a smart skin for use in robots in space. Now, you say smart skin. Why does a robot need smart skin? Well, it's really not a skin. It's like an outer layer that basically allows a robot to feel when it's touching something and a whole variety of different things. We will design and test a smart skin that will make robots more suitable for future space exploration. It involves testing advanced surface sensors, alarm panels that can enable the robots to detect and avoid potential collisions with objects. This will make a robust and safe helpers for astronauts in space, said senior consultant Christian Delskard from DTI, which is out of the European Space Agency. So now robots won't look like metal things clashing around. They will definitely be having some sort of outer layer. Now, I knew about this, and I didn't know this was a big announcement because I'd been recruited already and turned it down. Amazon had contacted me some time ago. They must have thought I had a real big business here or something, because they said, we would like to deliver between 10 and 100 packages a day to your business for your team to redeliver to customers in your local area. And I'm like, all right, when am I going to get any regular work done? So Amazon looking to recruit small businesses like antique stores, coffee shops, florists, and more to become mini delivery hubs that get paid to locally deliver the company's packages. Now, again, this was reported. I had gotten a request like this about 6 months ago. But listen to this. They want to have you deliver within a 10-mile radius. Now, 10-mile radius is pretty big. And we know that it's called hub delivery, and they have the goal to connect 2,500 drivers operating out of these small businesses by the end of the year. But again, the program is starting in 23 states. So Michigan's not on this list, but I got ass, Alabama, Alaska, Arkansas, California, Florida, Iowa, Indiana, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, and South Dakota. It's not just about rural communities, though. Amazon also partnered with businesses in densely populated cities, including Boston, New York, Los Angeles, and Seattle. Now, listen to this. 10 miles away from you, $2.50 is what you're going to get paid to deliver the package. No, no, thank you. Nope. Who's gonna do that? Supreme Court has rejected Genius lawsuit claiming Google stole song lyrics. This was already in a lower court before. Google has won this one, so SCOTUS won't overturn ruling. So whatever happened here, the company suing them basically has lost the fight here, and so another win for Google's legal team. Virgin Galactic is revealing the crew members for the company's first commercial space flight, and they're Italian. All of them are Italian. Galactic One's first commercial spacecraft will honor those that have been selected by the Italian Air Force and the National Research Council, support the first space research mission. So again, 3 individuals from Italy, and then, of course, the Virgin Galactic pilot. So very, very cool. Congratulations to that team. Nothing Phone. We've talked about this a few times. The Nothing Phone orders have begun well ahead of the July launch. The Indian e-commerce site is all set to open for pre-orders on the 29th. So if you're interested, again, I don't know if these are going to be available in the United States or not, but link is in the show notes. Of course, we were talking about Wi-Fi 6 and 6E here recently. And if you invested in a Wi-Fi 6E compatible router, which there isn't a lot of them yet, you might never get around to it before the next gen of Wi-Fi 7 standard arrives. I already talked it could show up on iPhones as early as next year. So what's good about the new Wi-Fi 7 standard? This new connected breed has multiple advantages to support devices, principally higher peak data rates and much reduced latency, while Wi-Fi 6 was loosely focused on supporting lots of devices. Wi-Fi 7 seeks to boost speed and efficiency in use of those devices. So they promise a peak data rate of 46 gigabits per second, which is almost 4 times faster than Wi-Fi 6. And 6C, and 5 times faster than Wi-Fi 5. I'm running everything Wi-Fi 5 here in the studio and at home currently. What are you running? You usually see that in your setup, but again, Wi-Fi 7. So I wouldn't even worry about 6E if you got a good router already that's still working good on 5. American and Southwest airline pilot candidate data exposed. A vendor that operates pilot recruitment platform used by major airlines, basically exposed personnel files of 8,000 pilot and cadet applicants at American Airlines and Southwest Airlines. So here's the thing about that. Other airlines probably get their hands on these potential candidates. But again, it continues to be, all these breaches, no security in the tech. It scares me to death, tell you. After decades contributing to science, John Goodenow, according to what they're saying here at the register, is powered down. Sadly, the Nobel laureate professor of mechanical material science and electrical engineering, University of Texas, has passed away. He enjoyed a long and prestigious career in chemistry, but is best known for significant contributions to developments of lithium-ion batteries, which has shaped the landscape of mobile telecommunications and computing. UT Austin President John Hartzell said John's legacy as a brilliant scientist is immeasurable. His discoveries improved the lives of billions of people around the world. He was a leader at the cutting edge of scientific research through the many decades of his career. Born in 1922, Goodenow became the oldest Nobel Prize winner in 2019 when he shared the award with Stanley Whittingham of Binghamton University, State University, New York, and Akira Yoshino of the Asahi Keisai Corporation and Meiji University in Japan. So he was originally born in Germany, He served in the Second War as a meteorologist, and in 1994 obtained a degree in mathematics at Yale University. One very smart individual. An attorney has sued Microsoft for $1.75 million, claiming his email has been useless since May. He can't log in. He's got an error. He can't get anybody on the phone. He describes being caught in error code 500-121 loop that provides a screenshot of in the complaint. And basically, he can't get tech support on the line. He can't get anyone in the business section to get him on the phone and help him get into his account. He's locked out. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I would have moved my email already. If something like that, if I'd have been down that long, I would have moved I'd have moved. I'd been on another platform. Like, one day is too much. You know, you still have access to the stuff that went into your email, right? You would hopefully have a backup of that. I would have moved to a different service. There would have been no hesitation. You can't get in, can't get support. I'd have been gone. That's crazy. It is June 26th, and he's been locked out of his email since May 10th. Is he dumb? Really? Is this guy, why would he stay on the platform? Once he gets in there, whatever's in there will be in there. But I would have moved. You can move your email. Well, maybe not. Maybe he was on a Microsoft. This is where you gotta have to have backups of your email. All right. I still hold an address at geeknewscentral.com, geek at geeknewscentral.com, and several others, Todd, a variety of different places. I would have moved. I would have moved my email. Probably it's not under custom domain. That's probably it. It's probably Outlook or whatever. It shows you maybe why you should not be using Gmail or Outlook or Microsoft or whatever, one of those extension of your email address. If you're a business owner, especially a lawyer, wouldn't you have it under your domain name for your firm? I would think so. Amazon and Google expanding the investment after Modi visit. The move follows a meeting by U.S. President and Indian Prime Minister Modi held with top technology executives, including Amazon and Google, at the White House Friday. Amazon announced it will invest an additional $15 billion in India by 2030. That includes plans by its AWS division of about $12.7 billion into cloud infrastructure in the South Asian nation to meet rising customer demand. Google will open a global financial technology center in Qatar International Finance Tech City, normally commonly known as Gift City, in Modi's home state. So I think that was pre-planned already, right? You're going to invest money and stuff. An ex-FBI employee has been jailed for taking classified material home. Kendrick Kingsbury was charged with under the Espionage Act. In Kingsbury's case, it was 2 counts of unlawful retention of documents related to national defense, which landed her 46 months in prison. 386 classified documents were at her home, which included sensitive national security information that the DOJ said could have revealed some of the government's most important and secretive methods of collecting essential national security intelligence in the wrong hands. Why does the FBI have access to this data to begin with? As for why she did it, DOJ said its investigation only turned up more questions. Officials found a number of what they describe as suspicious calls to phone numbers associated with subjects of counterterrorism officials, some of whom even called Kingsbury back. The DOJ said it's been unable to figure out why those calls were placed, and that Kingsbury declined to share any details. Interesting. And some people are being mailed, specifically military members. This is a different story. They've been being mailed devices, unsolicited smartwatches have been delivering to military members. Well, I wouldn't put that thing on. Obviously, a phishing attempt. Crazy. A 5G deadline could ground some U.S. flights starting July 1st. Planes without compatible altimeters won't be allowed to fly in low visibility. Any plane without retrofitted sensitive radar altimeters can't land in low visibility, a stipulation that could cause delays for travels. To be clear, this is not addressing ongoing safety issue. Deadline lines with U.S. wireless companies increasing the power of their 5G network. The 5G boost comes after years of delays due to concerns about the signal's impact on radio waves that judge how far a plane is from the ground. Carriers first planned to increase the power of the network in 2022. Delayed it until July of 22. Finally found a compromise with the FAA and proceeded to July 1, 2023. About 8% of domestic aircraft have undergone the upgrade, with some top carriers still needing to finish their fleet. Delta, for instance, will have 190 planes left to bring up to par, while JetBlue will have 17. Something the Airlines for America trade association blames on supply chain. United, Southwest Americans have all reported they will have no outstanding planes by the deadline. Another 65% of aircraft flying from international destinations in the U.S. have up-to-date altimeters, with airlines posed to use those options wherever possible. So that hardware update, I bet it's just a filter. Over at makeuseof.com, 7 potential challenges you might face when switching from Android to iPhone. Number 1, quote-unquote, poor call management. 2, limited keyboard features. Number 3, no custom ringtones. 4, no sideloading. Number 5, no split-screen multitasking. And 6, of course, SIRI's limited functionality, according to this article, and the Apple Lightning connector. So a link will be up in the show notes for you to check that out. So I don't know if this is a carryover from the previous article, but the White House announces $40 billion in broadband funding. And the funding authorized in the 2020 bipartisan infrastructure package will be distributed proportionally to states based on need, on each state receiving at least $100 million. Today's allocations were made using broadband coverage maps that were recently updated to include more than 1 million new locations, which were jury-rigged in many cases by the internet service providers themselves. And we'd asked many of you to check that map and make sure that the data was correct. If you did up that data and make sure it was correct, then maybe some of this 100 million or whatever it is, 40 billion, will make it to your neighborhood. The ministry expects to invest more than $90 billion to expand equitable and affordable internet access nationwide as part of the American Rescue Plan. And more than $25 billion has already been authorized to build out infrastructure and subsidize the cost of connected devices for low-income people. Apple appealed judge ruling that it violated workers' rights. This is from a ruling from the National Labor Relations Board. Judges ruled that the company violated employees' rights by coercively interrogating them about pro-union sympathies and restricting circulation of union flyers. Apple said in a statement it disagreed with the ruling and will address it through the NLRB process. So the judge wrote that Apple should be required to cease and desist from interrogating workers about their legally protected labor activism. The company should also stop confiscating pro-union literature in its break rooms and interfering with restraining or coercing employees and the exercising of their rights. The move marks the first time that the NLRB has ruled against Apple. Such decision can be appealed to labor board members in Washington from there to federal appeals court. So, of course, they're going to do that. Michael, you said you haven't been to Coldwater, Michigan since you were the 5th grade. Well, not much has changed, my friend. A little bit has changed. And I don't know how long it's been since you've been in the 5th grade. Europe seeks to punish Putin's InfoWar pals with bans on Russian tech firms. So the European Union has announced an 11th package of sanctions against Russia for illegally actions against Ukraine. And this time it tried to tackle Moscow's key IT providers and entities established to evade export bans. Boy, they almost had a coup or a civil war in Russia, didn't they, over the weekend? People are not happy over there. I think it's only going to get worse. And then the Russians firing on their own people and stuff. Crazy business. Well, another data breach at New York City schools exposes students and staff information. New York City Department of Education estimates that personal data of some 45,000 students was compromised as part of a breach involving the file transfer software MoveIt. Of course, the U.S. government had some of that too. Officials said the compromised data includes social security numbers, birth dates, and certain student evaluations, though the specific type data breach varies per student. Why is not all of this data, secure data like this, privacy data, why is it not hashed? Why is it not encrypted? Why is this being stored openly in a database? I don't get this. I do not understand this. Why this critical data is not encrypted. Why? You live in New York City, you're one of those affected people. Please ask why. In an interesting article from Business Insider, tech workers are willing to give up on high salaries to take a pay cut to avoid a layoff. About 56% tech workers, an official poll from the anonymous job posting site Blind, said they accept an equal or less pay in a new role, and some 45% of those respondents said they accept equal or lower pay due to lackluster job market amid a series of layoffs across the industry. And this is what blows me away. This is the next comment that just blows me away. I'd make less money and be happier, one Meta worker wrote in a response to the survey. Some of these folks are making $500,000 a year. The Blind report found the average expectation for paying tech across the industry dropped about 5% over the course of the year, though salary expectations dropped at the highest rate for junior and mid-level engineers of about 8 to 10% respectively. What's more, tech workers in major hubs like San Francisco, New York City, and Seattle, where the cost of living is much higher, have been hit the hardest by the falling minimum salary expectations. Mid-level engineers and tech hubs have experienced a year-over salary drop of about 13%. The study echoes concern from tech workers on social media over the past few months. 100 tech workers have taken to Blind to question whether it's the end of the $500,000 plus salaries. $500,000 plus salaries. Ladies and gentlemen, wow. $500,000? I've had the wrong job. I'm a company owner. I don't make anywhere near even close to that. That's insane. Holy cow. 500,000? That's like a dream salary. Yeah, of course I take a pay cut. Richard says, Todd, that Amazon deal, that's $2.50 per package. FedEx and UPS does the same thing in some areas. You do 100 package, that adds up quick. Well, the thing is, that's a dedicated job. I understand that. But when you have a business and they're asking you to do 10 to 100 packages a day out of your regular business, that's a lot of money. That's not a lot of money at $250 each. For the disruption, is that going to hurt your business? I don't know. I just think so. For those of you that listen to the show in Canada, Netflix is removing its basic plan in Canada. Users will have basic with ads, standard, or premium tiers available only. But just a heads up on that. Lucid will power Aston Martin's future EVs. They'll supply the motors, batteries, and more. So again, Aston Martin plans to build ultra-luxury, high-performance EVs using Lucid's electric motors, batteries, and other technology. Lucid recently released its own debut electric car, the Air, in multiple versions starting at only $87,400. So just a heads up there for those of you that are Aston Martin fans. And in no surprise, Americans hate Americans hate internet service providers almost as much as they hate gas stations. Huh? ISPs rank second lowest on a list of 43 consumer industries, outperforming only gas stations. Why do people hate gas stations? I don't hate gas stations. I need gas stations. It's a little weird. The rankings come courtesy of ACSI's most recent telecommunications study. The study covers TV services, video streaming service, and ISPs of both fiber and non-fiber, using interviews with 22,000 American consumers. This year's telecommunications study investigates just how happy people are with their ISPs. On a satisfaction scale of 1 to 100, ISPs earned a lackluster 68, which consists of fiber 75 point and non-fiber 66 point. If I could get fiber here, I'd probably be in the 75 point range. Of course, I pay business rates, which is its own story in itself. Although fiber customers found the internet to be relatively reliable and their bills easy to stand, earning an 80 in both categories, non-fiber customers weren't as pressed at 72 and 75. Unsurprisingly, both fiber and non-fiber customers enjoyed reaching out to the provider's customer service teams the least out of 14 total data points. Why does this have any? They don't talk about the gas stations. What? They don't talk about gas stations. I guess there's a chart that I can't read. It's blurry on the image here. Do you hate a gas station? I hate my internet service provider a heck of a lot more than a gas station. What say you? Richard also said, I guess it really depends on the business you're running. If you're already running like a package and shipping company, that type of deal would fit right in. But something like you are doing where you need quiet wouldn't work. Absolutely. That's why I kind of laughed. And I thought it was just going to be like a pickup service where you had boxes where you could just, it's one of those type of deals where you get 20 packages and then people come pick them up. Oh, no. They wanted me to do deliveries. And I just laughed. I don't know how they figured out why. I don't know why they approached me. I have not nary a clue, but I got the email. That was, again, months and months ago. All right, just going to bring us to the end here. Don't leave, because you know what? Some of you have been listening, but most of you have not. Over the new media show, we're getting great traction on the new podcast apps at podcastapps.com. We've been lit and live today. Now, some of you have been listening to the show live. I mean, lit and doing Satoshi donations during the show. Mitch is listening on Podverse today. He's sending us sats by the minute. What else? Who else is live with us right now? Then Brian was streaming the show with Castamatic. And we have not gotten any boostergrams from GNC listeners in a few days. So why? Come on now. Go over to podcastapps.com. Get yourself a modern, MODERN, modern podcast app. If I'm providing value and commentary today, just send me 25 cents, $2.50. Again, send me some sats. Get going with it. Let's get participating, GNC listeners. You guys got to get over there and get dialed in. Now, what are the most popular apps people are using to connect with me on the new media show and other shows? Well, it breaks down by Podverse, Fountain, Castamatic, CuriouCaster, and Podcast Guru. I'm a big Fountain user. I use Podverse for other things, but a Podverse by far is a 3-to-1 in popularity. And definitely appreciate it when we get your contributions. We've had 6,287 contributions since we've started, either streaming by the minute or whatever it is, but podcastapps.com is a place to get your modern podcast app and to participate in this new ecosystem here. All right, I'll be back with you again on Thursday for another edition. 1677 is now in the can. Geeknews@gmail.com. Geeknews@gmail.com. @Geeknews on Twitter. If you've loved the show, if there's been giving you value, if you love the podcast, go over to geeknewscentral.com/insider. And that is where you can become an insider and contribute $2, $5, $10, $15, $20, or $25, or send a one-time contribution of Satoshis to the show. Link is on the website. Connect with Get Albie. And you can too. It's a great way to participate in the ecosystem. But again, it's my pleasure to bring you the podcast. I want to thank you all for your ongoing support. Those who have been listening live, appreciate it. Richard and Michael and Dan and Mom for tuning in tonight. Thank you so much. And those of you on YouTube as well. Again, it's been my pleasure bringing the podcast. We'll be back here on Thursday for another live event. Been trying to get started around 6:10 to 6:20 Eastern. Try. Kirk's had the prep done, so as soon as I get done with work, I sit down and do the prep and rock and roll. So it's not like I'm waiting on the production work. But we'll see what we come up tonight with the album art. I've been having a lot of fun with it. Go look at the new media show, newmediashow.com. Look at the album art for the last show. It was perfect. Absolutely perfect. Matched the show tone and everything. So I'll be back with you again on Thursday for another edition of the Geek News Central podcast. You all take care. Be safe. Take care of one another. Watch out.